I'll give you a little game. The next time you're out with the guy you like, just ask him what his favorite holiday is. He'll say Christmas. And then you'll say, oh, mine's Valentine's Day. I just love Valentine's Day. So,
You're very treacherous.
I don't pick me. Someone pick me.
Do you get? So I think that it is very, very problematic because a lot of people that are supposed to show affection and show that they care are going into, they're meeting a stranger that they don't know, where you have a clean slate to make any magical world, and you're going into it being combative.
It's not just Twitter. I'm going to tell you another hot take. And I'm going to shamelessly plug my sister again.
Let's go.
The Glow Barbie on Instagram.
The Glow Barbie. Let's
She's
go.
been explaining this to me for like the last 6 years. And me with my big head, I'm finally going to listen. She honestly said it's not even Twitter that stands in the way of relationship goals / entering a magical place, which I love that you said that. She said it's girl groups.
The group chats.
Let's zoom in.
The group chats.
Girl groups. That's the hot take.
Yeah.
It's girl groups.
I heard that's where it goes down.
It goes down in girl groups.
Why? Why though?
Okay, hold on a second.
Drink water.
I'm scared to say this because I used to be a girl's girl.
Talk
Anyway.
to me.
What was the question?
So like, why is it that like that's where it goes down? Like, what?
It goes down because this is not even all girl groups because
of course.
I don't even want to make this a race thing.
Yeah.
But I went to my friend from high school's wedding this summer.
Yeah.
And she's white. Most of her friends are white except for me. And every single person at her wedding, under the age of 27, had either a boyfriend, someone they were engaged to, or a husband. Every single person at that wedding, except for me and one of my other friends who was white. We were just sitting there like,
oh my God.
But every single other person there had a boyfriend, a fiance, or a husband. Okay. So then in that group, if you don't have somebody, it's sort of weird. No one tells you like you're weird.
Of course.
But like there was like, my boyfriend said this, my husband said that, oh, my fiance. Or like we're at this wedding and the girl's like, you're next, Angie. And then like you're just in the back of your mind, you're like, I went to 3 weddings and I supported my friends. Now they're going to support me. Now I'm going to support them. So there it's like, not that they call you weird, but they're just like, it's actually normal to have a man here and it's abnormal to not have a man. It's abnormal not to put your partner first. It's abnormal not to travel across the country with them. It's abnormal. And I'll even tell you another story. It's a little bit of a tangent. One time I had a friend who was supposed to visit me in Austin, Texas with her boyfriend. And she told me like, oh, like he's going to be busy doing this right now. So we should hang out at that time. And me, because I was somebody who was like, more like friendships come before relationships. I was like, how could she say just because he has plans, we should hang out? And I actually got mad at her and it really strained our friendship for a long time. She was really hurt, which if you're watching this, I'm sorry, which I already told you, but I know that was ridiculous. But anyway, that's an offshoot. So it depends. I was operating at a higher level. I was intentional about this. I've gotten feedback from past experiences. I'm not repeating the same mistakes. I'm trying to be open and communicative. Then at least if that other person messes things up, I can say, okay, fine, maybe he was terrible, he was crazy, but I came with an open heart and I came with somebody who deeply looks at my actions. And in these girl groups, no one's looking at their actions. It's just a circle of women saying men suck, men suck, men suck, men suck. And like I said, I'm not saying you can't share your pain or share something that legitimately happened, but are you sharing, are the same things happening over and over again because you're not even changing your behavior? So why I'm saying it's girl groups, like you said that girl, it seemed fine. Then a week later she blocked you or was upset. It's because she talked about it with some of her friends. They're like, oh girl, how could he do that? How could he say that? F him. And then she feels like she wants to feel strong, so she blocks you. Not saying that you can't change your mind down the line and not saying it's always someone else in your ear. But what I mean by that is, it is those influences telling you that. But one thing about women, and like I said, my sister told me this, and I was like, dang, she's right, is that someone will tell you what you shouldn't tolerate or deal with, but they're
deal with
secretly
tolerating it.
dealing with it.
I've actually heard a lot about it. There was one incident where this guy was like, there was this lady, I think she was dating or she was married, and she was telling one of my friends that just got married, like, how can you tolerate it? And then she convinced this lady, of course, everybody's an adult, you can make your own decisions, but she basically like leaned on this lady to divorce her husband and leave. And then the lady ended up finding out that this lady that convinced her to leave her husband for this particular thing has actually returned. She was like, wait, you told me to leave. She was like, oh yeah, like, you know, you seemed like you wanted to leave. Like, me, I love my husband, I don't want to leave.
That's how it always goes.
And it's crazy because, like, all of those things, when you don't have a strong internal locus of control, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people deal with either men or women, but like usually, people that don't have a strong internal locus of control always look to other people to make a very core decision for them in their lives.
That was the old me. I'm growing up.
Yeah, like this growth. And then what then ends up happening is when everything now blows up, you want to blame those people. But those people are like, you can't blame me. You're an adult. Like, I gave you an opinion. You came to me for an opinion. I gave you an opinion. If you decide to run with it, that's on you, right? So I feel like if you're able to introspect, like you're saying, like, you know, in the girl group, like, you know, you think of something and then you go to the girl group and they're like, oh, like, how could you?
Or you already felt that way and then you want an audience
confirmation
to
bias. Exactly. Yeah.
Because I don't want the people to say I'm saying girls have their own mind. I'm just saying, like, maybe you sort of felt that way. But instead of talking, like, I have this aunt who's like in her 60s and she's been married to the same person or with the same person since her 20s. So if I'm going to go say something to her, she's gonna be like, honestly, girl, this is how you deal with it. Give them the benefit of the doubt, whatever. Or someone like my sister, she's the person that I go to if I'm like, I want to talk crap about somebody. She's like, no. So if you go talk to somebody who you know will have your back and believes in marriage, not saying that they're going to excuse poor behavior because they won't, but my aunt, with my ex, he used to like watching football. So I told my aunt, she's like, what do you guys do together? And I was like, I don't know, sometimes we watch TV. She's like, does he like football? If he doesn't, we need to watch it with him. Someone of today is going to be like, oh girl, like, if you don't like football, don't sit there and watch it with him. Like, that's stupid. Stuff like that. So it's just more like, I don't even know where I was going with this. Yeah. But yeah, it's like that confirmation bias. If you want someone to sort of agree with you. Because if you're talking to people who stand for marriage or stand for like healthy marriage, then they're going to give you an alternate perspective versus just saying, oh, F this person, throw this person out. I have another hot take later. We're on the roll. We're on the roll.
We're on the roll of hot takes. But okay, so like where we are now, right? It's kind of like, you know, we've talked about a lot of things. We talked about reciprocity. We talked about, you know, in the initiating process, chasing people that don't want to be chased, like creepy behavior, all of those things. Do you think that in like modern dating, as much as people are single and saying, oh, we want to be in relationships, do you think people are doing, because like the stats show like we're more lonely or alone now than people were comparable, like, you know, maybe in the 70s, in the 80s, right? At our age, for example. Even with the advent of social media that is supposed to connect everybody, right? Would you say people are acting against their own best interest by withholding like affection and withholding love, like without withholding being like genuineness or like being genuine, by being ingenuine? Is that a word? By being ingenuine, do you think people are affecting their own chances? Because we're seeing people increasingly, men and women also, because now you have like tropes, you have different men. I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm going to just try it, I'm going to do this thing, like, you know, these babes are not serious, I'm going to live my life. And then this will also get like, you know, 35. Of course, men can always date down. This is where this thing is not easy, because like, you know, I was having a conversation with someone and we're talking about the whole sexual liberation and how over time it's actually hurting women more than it's actually helping women. Because we're like, okay, we can also go out and have sex the same way men can. Yes, you can. But like, if you have sex until you're 30, 33, 34, 35, by design, women don't usually date down. Some people be like, oh, like, you know, I do, not you, like overacting, like the ratio. Women want to date up. They want to be more secure. So no matter how rich a woman is, most often than not, she wants someone like that is doing better, someone that can provide something that she can't provide for herself. Men can go ahead and look at a girl that's okay in McDonald's and be like, okay, like, you know, I'm going to get married to you. And
they can, but I think that with social media, people think that that's more common than it is. I watched a show called Married to Medicine on Bravo, and it's about doctors and doctors' wives. And every single person that's with someone on that show has gone to college. they either met at college or they met like as young adults.
Yeah.
But they're not marrying random people.
Yeah. So there's something. There's something. I'm happy you brought that up. There's something that's called. It's called the economics. So there's this thing called the economics of geography. But like I have this theory, which is the economics of love or whatever it is that I'll never marry Bill Gates' daughter because we didn't go to the same school.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up in the same environment.
Even if you go to the same school.
Yeah.
Because I went to an Ivy League, but I didn't use it to befriend rich people or date rich people because I was a little bit jealous of them because I wasn't rich. Even if you go to the same school, you have to have a game plan.
Exactly. That's the thing. You get so you and I have this saying: you can't get married to someone that you've never seen. Right? You can't fall in love with someone, for example, that's in maybe Australia. Because in the same time, you guys have never seen, because I've never met. There's no way. So for you to first fall in love, and the reason why those people in medicine, for example, is because they spend long years in school. They like doing all this lab work. They're doing all these things. They're always together. And I always tell people, don't say you can't fall for this guy, or don't say you can't fall for this babe. If you guys spend enough time together, you guys are going to develop feelings and affections for each other, because the way attraction grows is with time. So you meet someone like, oh, like, no, we're just friends. I'm like, no, you are enemies. Continue. And then I'm like, oh, like, I think I actually like him. Like, I just feel for him. I didn't even know when it happened. It's because you're spending time together. So basically, that's the idea. I'm saying, like, most men date down.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it might be an ego thing too. It's not like they also want to feel like they're offering something. So people use the example of McDonald's, not just because of like just not a random person, but like the idea of men can actually go date down, like see someone. But yeah, it's a very true thing that even though you don't want to be classist, you can get to a particular point as a man where like the conversation, this person is not mentally stimulating because they live in a different world than you. So like when you're trying to talk to them about things that they're not interesting to you.
Or if the person does say work at McDonald's, if they are, well read in some aspects, they read the news or they read like classic literature, maybe you'll connect on that.
Exactly.
So if you can have that sort of stuff.
So men always want things like that, right? So that question which I posed, like, do you think people are, hurting their own chances by not showing affection? What do you think?
I think that people are hurting their own chances, but it's not by not showing affection, because people are showing affection. It's that they're showing affection in the wrong places. I am someone, like I said, I used to be a girl's girl. I used to always give my female friends the benefit of the doubt. Even if they would do some weird, nasty shit, I'd be like, oh, but she didn't mean to. She didn't mean to. Or like, yeah, she did that, but like, I mean, she didn't, that's not how it, like, I mean, I guess she just is what, maybe I just made her upset, like, maybe it was me. But then if it's a man, it's like, oh, well, F him, he breathed at me wrong, he texted me at 2:01 instead of 2:05. And yes, there's an opposite. There's women who are not loving or giving the benefit of doubt to women at all and overdo it with men, and they're doormats. So there's obviously both sides of the spectrum. What I am saying is that people are showing affection, but they're showing it to their parents, their siblings, which there's nothing wrong with that, or their friends, or at work, or with whatever else. And then when it comes to a romantic partner, that's where they're cold. That's where they're stiff. And it's something that I admit that I used to dabble in a little bit till my sister was like, girl, I don't know what you're doing. But it was one of those things where like, okay, I'm going to give all the women a benefit of the doubt. But if a man sneezes at me wrong, now I'm going to be mad and say F you or block him or not say anything, but then do that thing where you're just like ice cold, you don't communicate, and you're not even trying to help someone grow or have yourself grow. So I think that people are hurting their chances. I do think sexual liberation is stupid. I think that when no one has to feel responsible for sex, that the sex you're having can result in a child, and a child, not that you just have a kid and you're a baby mama or baby daddy getting money from the government, but a child that you want to make sure you are providing for with your husband or with your partner. I shall say husband. That's why I think sexual liberation is dumb, because people are saying, I shouldn't have to be married to have sex, or I should have sex with no strings attached. But that's what you get. You get no strings attached. You get ghosting. Not saying only men ghost, but you get ghosting. You get a lack of responsibility. You get a man actually telling you, you know what? If you're waiting for either marriage or a serious relationship for sex, I don't want you, because I can go have sex with someone else because she's liberated and you're not, which has happened to me. But anyway, I'm just saying, like,
she's liberated.
Who does that help? when you're making sex free
Yeah.
without
I feel
responsibility,
like
without springs.
I feel like men ended up benefiting off of sexual liberation more than women.
Yes, it seems like they're benefiting, but then instead of them having a woman, a wife, a woman partner to go and build with, share that inner world, appreciate, they're outsourcing that. That's why a lot of men are mama's boys now, because they're like, I don't have an emotional connection with women. I just fuck women. I'm using that word fuck because that's what it is. It's cold. But then I'll go call my mom or just be like, she's the person who I love or she's the person who gets me, but like not these bitches because I'm just fucking these bitches. Sorry, I'm cussing. I'm just saying that's
that's the lingo.
The sentiment. So I think that just like if a woman is like, okay, maybe I'm horny, so I'll not me changing the thing around because I'm talking about women. You see what I mean? But maybe I'll F this, not me getting shot. This is what I meant. That's that bias. But anyway, I'll just F this man, but like, who cares? My heart is for my friends, or it's for my mom or my dad or whoever. So, yeah, I think people are blocking themselves from that love, and they're cuddling with their friends and touching their friends and just outsourcing that, or they're using people to have sex with, but not trying to build a real relationship with. And I think, like I said, I think sexual liberation is done because it's making sex free, no strings attached, and then people don't feel a sense of responsibility toward each other. And kids are growing up without both parents. And I'm saying this as someone who has definitely gotten a lot more conservativized because I used to go to a liberal school. I used to be like, oh, like women should be free and the patriarchy this and the patriarchy that, and that's dumb. Because my life was better by having my mom and my dad at home. If I didn't have my dad, women are overly emotional. And sometimes if a man is stoic and he calms women down, that's a sense of stability in the home. Because sometimes my mom will call and start yelling and be like, oh my God, and my dad will be like, and it's like, that's bringing a sense of stability and calm to me that if I had two moms, it'll just be a bunch of shrieking and a bunch of yelling, or a single mom. Even if it's two moms there, it's like, you guys are both like, it's just too much.
You feel like that sense of control is going to, like, that calm, like someone to be like, hey, like everything's going to be fine. Like, I understand your fear, but like, just let's breathe. And
obviously, I'm not saying women can't do that because they can offer that assurance, but that's also why women even worry and we're so anxious, is because we're raising kids, we're supposed to be attuned to those little things. If a kid cries like one way or the other way, that's how you know how to take care of them. So women are by design more emotional. But then if a man is like, I'm meant to notice bigger things, or I'm meant to keep my calm if I'm hunter, if I'm in war, or whatever, that's the whole point. So when you marry those two together, it's an environment with polarity. So people are hurting their chances. But I think that if you want to learn, there's people out there. I'm going to plug my sister one last time. But she's someone who actually really helped me understand relationships, how I'm coming across, how to communicate. And my sister's the type of person that, like, even if you scream at her, she'll sit and explain to you what you're doing wrong, what you can do right, what the other person's doing wrong, what they can do right. But a lot of times people don't like to listen to people like that. Even me. Sometimes we'll get into fights, I'm like, don't tell me that. And the next day I'll be like, oh, you were right. So I think that people are hurting their chances. There's people like my sister. There's people like you who say insightful things. There's people like me who are like writing down what y'all say and being like, okay, that makes sense to me, regurgitate it. But if people don't want to listen to that, they're just hurting themselves because they think they're right, or they just want to keep saying, he's the problem, she's the problem. Even men, oh, she's a bitch, she's this, she's a problem. A woman being like, oh, fuck him, da da da. Like, there's people out there who want to help, but it's hard to know who wants to help because it sounds like the opposite of what most people are saying.
True. Absolutely true. Like, mic drop. Of all the languages, you choose to speak facts. I like that. So, as we wrap up, right, we've talked about a lot of things. What would you say, and you've also like talked about your growth on how you went from, being like on the other side where like, you had like very, very different opinions, you're very combative, and all of these things that you now look back and I'm like, I think that was excessive, right? How did you grow in your, what would you say you did to be able to grow and now having like, better results, better chances, having a more human experience, giving people the benefit of the doubt that you want them to give to you? How do you say you were able to make that transition?
So how I grew was talking to my sister about my dating life, talking to my sister about my friendship life, and just seeing where I went wrong and her pointing things out to me, and me being stubborn and her having to explain it a lot, but her pointing things out, and then realizing, oh, this is why that's happening. I have been like getting to know and dating around for like the last 2 years with different people, just getting to know them, and it would always end the same way. And I started asking people like, okay, what do you think I needed to work on? What did I say that was bothersome? Like, what were some things that made you not interested? And vice versa. Maybe I told them like, hey, you could have done this better. And actually taking that as a valuable point of feedback. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't communicate in this way because that's how someone will take it. Maybe I should think about what I'm saying. And then I also think getting rid of stressors in my life. I used to notice whenever I would hang out with certain people, I would always feel like upset after, and then I would like pick fights with people around me. And then I was like, oh, that's stressing me out. I'm picking a fight with my sister. I'm picking a fight with my mom. I'm picking a fight with a guy I'm dating because who I was hanging out with made me feel agitated. So I think it's looking at your life and thinking about what stresses you out. Because I found that sometimes if you have like a toxic family or toxic friends or a toxic partner, maybe what you're dealing with them stresses you out. So when you go to someone else, like your partner, your friend, or your family who's not toxic, then you bring that to them because that other toxic person stressed you out, and now you're bringing that to the people who are healthy, whoever that is. So I found removing yourself from that situation, giving people the benefit of the doubt, saying, my sister's so funny, she's always like, if I complain about a guy, she's like, would you be mad if your friend did that to you? Or didn't your friend just do that same thing? Like, for example, there was this guy who I was dating, and oh, sorry. I've been looking like over here. There was this guy I was dating, and I was upset that like I would know the day we would hang out, but not necessarily the exact time. But then I'm hanging out with my friends on Sunday. I don't know where we're going and what time. I just know we are. So I was like, oh, I'm getting mad at him for that, but I'm not getting mad at my friend for that. And I was like, oh, that means that I have that bias towards a man that I'm dating versus my friends. And for other people, it might be the opposite. Some people hate their friends and put their partner on top, and that's not really balanced either. So yeah, what just helped me grow was looking at the part that I play in things. So whether things go right or wrong, I can say, okay, I was trying to be better than I was yesterday. I was trying to give feedback, give people the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, I just started going to church with my sister. And I feel like it softened my heart because there was a time where I didn't go to church at all. And I think that just what they preach is giving people the benefit of the doubt, having a heart like Christ, and just not saying that you have to accept abuse or whatever, but just being like, you know what? I can just view someone not as my enemy. If I am a straight woman, I can't view men as my enemy because why would I be sleeping next to the enemy? You know? Yeah. So that's what's helped me.
All right. Yeah. Great. I like that.
Last hot take.
All right.
You.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't think I have another hot take. What's your last hot take?
Valentine's Day is coming up. If you want something, communicate it. Don't be scared. You can hint. You can be cute. You can be nice. Don't think people should just know. You just drop a hint. I'll give you a little game. The next time you're out with the guy you like, just ask him what his favorite holiday is. He'll say Christmas. And then you'll say, oh, mine's Valentine's Day. I just love Valentine's Day. So
you're very treacherous.
But would that have worked on you though? If someone was like, what's your favorite holiday?
I would be like, I'm a very difficult person. I'll be like, why?
It's just a little bit of game.
I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, is there a reason why? Like,
yeah, because I want to know yours. And then you can say, you know what's going to make it special for you? I want you to know mine. So, you can just, it's a little bit of riz.
The craziest thing is people who have their birthdays in the same month and then they have Valentine's Day and then they have their anniversary. I'm like, bro, like, no way. That's just too much. That's too much stress. But so we've come to the end of this episode. It's been a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for gracing my podcast-ish channel with your presence and the insightful conversation. I really appreciate the honesty because I want to have honest, difficult, easy conversations, but I want to make sure like people are able to get value. And I really appreciate you for coming on here and actually being vulnerable, being honest, as honest as too honest if I may add, because the girls are going to cook you. But it's alright. It's part of those things.
I'm a pick me. Someone pick me.
But yeah, so I appreciate that. And please, if you have not subscribed, if you watch to this point, that means you found value in this. So please subscribe and let me know what you feel in the comment section. If you want to cook Oten, please cook her in the comment section.
Don't cook me. I'm gonna help y'all.
Don't come and cook, and then make sure you follow her sister on Instagram. What's the plug again?
At the Glow Barbie.
At the Glow Barbie. For if you're looking to live a combative lifestyle, build this toxicity, and you're not the toxicity is not benefiting you. It's not getting you the result you think. Then maybe try another way and see if you can grow.
Way.
You know. So please make sure let me know what you feel in the comment section. Turn on your post notifications so you can know when I post. I don't want to come terrorizing everybody in the chat. You know, understand?
And subscribe.
And subscribe
to Finding Doing.
Exactly, Finding Doing. You know the
My
vibe.
girl.
You know the vibe. All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.